Okay, well, I want to welcome everyone to our press conference. Today is a very special day. We are going to be honoring the story of a very special individual, and his name is Nicholas Green, and his father, Mr. Reg Green, will talk more about it afterwards. And I have some other distinguished guests with me. To Mr. Green's right, we have Mr. Ari Reif from the Canadian Center for Peace. And to his right, we have Mr. Dominic Barbieri from the National Congress of Italian Canadians, Toronto District. They will all share a few words.
Perez Center for Peace.
Not the
Perez,
Canadian,
I'm sorry.
I don't want to be everything.
And I know Mr. Reif well enough that he'll correct me whenever I'm going to make any more mistakes, so I appreciate that. So we want to begin by saying that we're holding this press conference to encourage more Canadians and Ontarians especially to donate, become donors of organs and tissues. And they can do it quite simply now by going to the Trillium Gift of Life Network website and simply press the register button there. And also going to our site, torchoflife.com, and simply by pressing the register button. But make sure that you share this wish with your family. Today, we're holding this event in honor of Nicholas Green, but also to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of the blessing of the Torch of Life, which will be carried from here, Queen's Park, making a stop at Toronto General Hospital at 9:45 a.m., and then continuing on to Dundas Square, where we hope to have a glorious finish there. My name is George Marcello. I'm the CEO and founder of Step by Step. And I've been a big admirer of Mr. Reg Green and his story. And I'm not going to say anymore because there's nobody better to explain the story than Mr. Reg Green himself. So, sir,
Okay.
it's all yours.
Thank you, George. As George has said, we have a story. It was 17 years ago. We were driving on the main road south from Naples in Italy towards Sicily. It was night, but not late, 10:30, when a car drew up alongside us. And through the night there came the sound of these loud, angry, savage cries, obviously telling us to pull over. It seemed to me that if we did stop, we'd be completely at their mercy. So instead, I accelerated. They accelerated too. I floored the car. They floored theirs. And the two cars raced alongside each other. And then there was a tremendous explosion. And the window behind the driver's window, where the two children were sleeping, Nicholas, age 7, and Eleanor, his sister, age 4, that window was blown in. Obviously from a bullet. My wife, Maggie, on the front seat, turned round to make sure the children were safe. Both of them appeared to be sleeping peacefully. And then there was another shot, and the driver's window was blown in. Glass flying everywhere. And how that bullet missed the two of us on the front seat, I'll never know. But by now we were doing what I'd hoped. We were pulling away from them, and they disappeared back into the night. We continued at top speed to make sure that they didn't come back. And as it happened, there'd been an accident on the road. The police were there. There was an ambulance there. I got out of the car, and Nicholas didn't move. I looked closer, and I saw his tongue was sticking out. And there was a slight trace of vomit on his chin. And I knew what that sign meant. I looked closer and saw that, in fact, he'd been struck by one of those bullets. He was rushed to a hospital, and without ever regaining consciousness, 2 days later, he was declared brain dead. We sat there, Maggie and I, holding hands, not talking very much. trying to come to terms with all this. And then she said to me, you know, now that he's gone, shouldn't we donate the organs? And I said yes, and that's all there was to it. It was so obvious to us then that he didn't need that body anymore. But we knew that out there were people who did desperately need what that body could give. You couldn't imagine what they looked like or who they were. And so we said we would donate the organs. As a result, 2 people who were going blind got his corneas, and 5 others who were close to death were saved. And that was 17 years ago. We've lost touch with a couple of them since then, but the other 5 are in good health and good spirits. And better still, organ donation rates in Italy quadrupled since then, so that literally thousands of people are alive who would have died. So it just shows that in any moment of any day, any one of us can make a difference. And I just urge you, if you're interested and want to do something about this, to register yourself as an organ donor. Now looking back, having seen those families and seen what they went through and knowing what would have happened if we made a different decision, I find it impossible to believe that we could have just simply shrugged off their problems as none of our concern. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Green. Mr. Reif.
My name is Ari Reif. I'm the Vice Chairman of the Canadian Peres Center for Peace. This is an Israeli organization which is run by the current President of the State of Israel, Mr. Shimon Peres, who also established it before he became President of the state. The Nobel Laureate Prize winner, Mr. Peres, is not involved day to day in the operations and the establishments of the centers around the world. We have a center in the US, in Canada, in Australia, in the UK, etc., etc. Where is the connection, you ask? I'll tell you where is the connection. We believe, and this is why we are, the raison d'etre of our existence is humanitarian approach to the major issue in the Middle East, which is the conflict between Israelis and Arabs, Israelis and Palestinians. Call it any name you want. It's a conflict. The conflict requires resolution. Without the resolution, without reconciliation, we're going, or something will happen that happened to me, which is, after 3 wars, after I lost my relatives and my friends, I buried friends and a brother-in-law, the conclusion was and will be that wars do not resolve problems. More than this, if you ask the connection between Reg and us and the Peres Center for Peace, I'll tell you. This is father to father. We have endorsed a project which George Marcello is about to implement, a project that will take place on November the 3rd, where a Palestinian father of a child, Mr. Kativ, whose son Ahmed was shot by mistake by the Israeli army. He was playing with a toy gun. They were sure he was one of those potential terrorists. They shot him. The tragedy was a tragedy. The Palestinian father decided to donate the organs of his son to save 5 Israelis. Conflict or not conflict, from father to father, I'm telling you, no religion, no borders, no nationality, no race, nothing will stop the human being of coming closer. It's not governments that build peace. It's people that build peace. And therefore, your role, your role model as a father, the role model of the father of Ahmed, to us, will be always a symbol of what can be achieved when you have conflict resolutions, whether it's crime, organized crime, or whether it is political issues. At the end of the day, it's the people that make the difference. I want to tell you that Nicholas and Ahmed, wherever they are, they will always be a symbol to me of what their parents could do in order to take forward one step more the idea of organ donors and donations. Because after all, let's not kid ourselves. Religion, fanaticism, ignorance prevent such things, because people have all kinds of beliefs. There are Orthodox Jews that believe that by donating organs, when the Messiah comes, you will not be completed. Finally, rabbis today think the other way. So there is a rapprochement, there is more progress, mainly because of Nicholas and Ahmed. Even the church at a certain time would not approve it. In the Islamic world, it's the same. But people understand that the gift of life, or the torch of life, is something that cannot be described as out of the focus. We are the focus. If this will not happen, if there will be no donors, if there will be no understanding that there are no borders anymore, children, adults will die. Simple as that. It's death or life. And we have chosen life. I thank you very much for your patience.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. Excellent. Mr. Barbieri.
I'm gonna speak in Italian if you guys don't mind.
It's very good. We all understand.
Okay. Okay. Our president for the Congress is off sick today. Wasn't able to make it, and I take his place. Okay. Il Congresso Nazionale degli Italo-Canadesi Distretto di Toronto sostiene il lavoro di Marcello al 100% e lo ringraziamo per quello che è riuscito a fare finora, quella della donazione degli organi. E ora dobbiamo continuare ciò che Marcello ha iniziato per far capire quanto è importante questo tema a tutti, soprattutto ai nostri figli, perché donare gli organi è una cosa buona, è una cosa nobile, salvare la vita a persone innocenti per un trapianto di organi. E il Congresso crede in questa cosa, sostiene a Marcello, a Mr. Green. Noi ringraziamo a Mr. Green per essere venuto qua e lo apprezziamo perché è un grande uomo, un uomo coraggioso e intelligente. Non solo ha convinto gli italiani in Italia, ma anche adesso noi qua, italo-canadesi che viviamo qua, dobbiamo capire e far capire ai nostri figli, ripeto, che è una cosa ottima, buona, nobile, dare gli organi, senza paura, perché è bello salvare una vita. Vi ringrazio. Ringrazio te, Giorgio, di avermi invitato.
Thank you, Mr. Barbieri. We're concluding this part of the activities today, but I did want to add, we were hoping to bring Mr. Khatib here by Skype so that he was able to make a statement, and due to technical difficulties, we weren't unable to do that at this point in time. But I promise you that we are going to do this again, and I'll promise you that we're going to do everything that we can to bring Mr. Khatib here to Canada, and have also Mr. Green accompany him, and from, like Mr. Reif eloquently said, from one father to another father. Let's show the world, you know, how we can solve these problems through organ donation. So that's what we're determined to do, and with the help of these gentlemen up here and many other people, step by step, we're going to hopefully try and accomplish that. So that concludes this part of the meeting. I think, Giorgio, you said that you had no other questions. Christopher, if you'd be so kind to start preparing the torch lighting outside, fill the torch. And by the way, this young man, Ari, walked across Canada at 13 years old while he needed a liver transplant. And he's part of our team as well. And you'll meet him afterwards.
The most important issue is the media plays a tremendous role. Any exposure, any coverage, this is not a political issue. This is a bipartisan, whether left, right, center, liberals, conservatives, Republicans, Democrats. Everybody understands that if there will be a division on this issue, it will cost lives. So the media's responsibility now to expose the story and say, okay, there are Israelis, there are Italians, there are Palestinians. Everybody is united on one issue. Children must live. If it's caused by death of a child, sorry. But if it saves 5 others or 4 others, it's a gift from God. So I'm saying to the media, with all the responsibility,
Right there, Ari.
yes,
They're right there in that camera facing you. So we were hoping we were going to get more media coverage, and we should have.
yes, but the media, you see, media will come when there is a story which sells. We do not sell. We bring life. We don't want the circulations. And the media, by the way, when they say that they investigated, they ran a research, I'm saying to you, there is no need for a research in this case. Here is a case, this is the research, this is the research. It's done. The Palestinian father that is coming here saved 5 Israeli kids. No need for any other research. It's done.
No fence between their houses.
Exactly. Thank you very much.
We want to thank Omni for coming here
Yes.
like usual. But I'm upset with everybody. Not the son though. The Toronto Sun has been helping us, and the Korea Canadese Multimedia Nova. I'm upset with everybody else.
We should.
I am. No, I am. I really am. I'm disappointed. I really am.
What was the big issue?
What was-
They want the
exactly.
scandal. Scandal is easy.
Yes.
We are not a scandal. We are life.
That's right.
And that is not important to some media. So I say with all the responsibility, they are failing life.
That's right. And I'm not going to be polite about it either. Yeah. Good.
Even this I know in Italian. Va bene.
Yeah.
Va bene. Andiamo.